This is Jordan Tower with JT News. Make sure you smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. Okay, so 50 Cent is making predictions that Diddy's gonna wish he got that plea deal, because after all the witnesses are done and they establish a pattern of Diddy hiring prosties, punching women, all this kind of stuff, and the way he controlled people, the jury's not gonna like him now. Suge Knight's made the prediction that Diddy's going to be able to get to one of the jurors or something. Nobody's pardoning Diddy. That's never going to happen. So Suge Knight's just like out of his office rocker from that. But one of the jurors might think that Diddy's not guilty of a couple things. You know, Diddy might get off on house arrest or something like that. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. There's also blackmail and everything involved. Well, Fat Joe, of course, had to involve himself in the Tory being stabbed in jail. Him and Jadakiss have a podcast. Obviously, Jadakiss is doing it for a bag. There's a couple sponsors attached to it. Fat Joe said, just do a couple episodes. I'll pay you this, and then we'll go from there. Because Fat Joe can't hold a show down by himself. And Jadakiss is more interesting, right? But they're not talking about anything. It's one of the most boring podcasts I've ever seen. And Fat Joe, all he does is lie. He's like, yo, when I was in jail, I wanted to be with the people, man. I refused protective custody. He's so real, guys. He's the realest. You know, Fat Joe thinks he's the realest guy ever. So they talk about Tory Lanez stabbed up. They didn't even really comment on that. It became a Fat Joe story about him being in jail. That was it. It's crazy. DDG's brother, Dub, gets emotional speaking about allegations involving his brother and Halle Bailey. He says, my brother streams nonstop because, he can't see his son. Halle Bailey's now going for full custody because that was her whole plan. She doesn't want to have to share custody with DDG, you know? DDG's isn't in for the fight for his life. He probably has more money than Halle Bailey, believe it or not. He does, okay? He been streaming for 10 years. Halle Bailey's been in a movie or two. Her music doesn't make any money. She has enough money to, like, live and everything and live lavishly. But DDG has different kind of money. Trust me. So he needs to fight this. And he's going up against Roc Nation because she's represented by Roc Nation, if I'm correct, because she's down with Beyonce. This is messy, and it's not fair. It's bullying, to be honest with you, because DDG is a good father. So it's nasty work out here. I think she should really rethink this for her son, you know? Like, I really don't believe DDG put hands on her. There would have to be proof on that, you know? A few pictures because you want sole custody isn't right. It was proven that Diddy had a huge problem with Drake during the trial today, where Cassie was saying she was beat down because she wanted to go to OVO Fest. Obviously, Diddy, that stems also from Diddy later having a problem with Drake with the 0 to 100 beat, which he wanted, and he wanted Drake to write for him, but Drake kept it. Because Drake found out about all this. If Drake on 4 a.m. in Calabasas or whatever it was, he dissed Diddy on there. We knew he was because it was obvious he was taking some shots at Diddy. There was some friction there. Pause. But that was proven. Safari talks about Meg and Tory case, now the driver for Kelsey, not the driver of that night, driver for Kelsey at the trial comes out and he says, why wait till he's almost killed to say something? Do people like have any kind of morals and principles? Like, there's so many different stories in this case is confusing, but everyone's always assumed that Kelsey was the shooter. It makes sense, you know? And the driver, Tory not having the driver of that night take the stand was a huge mistake. I don't know. Tory made so many mistakes. I'm just glad he's alive and maybe he can come home and change his ways, you know? Because he set himself up for failure, you know? It's like he didn't do anything wrong, but being a jerk got him in that situation. Because if you give someone an inch, they'll take it. And Meg Thee Stallion became the victim out of that, and she took it. She ran with it. Diddy taken to court. Well, paperwork has been filed on him allegedly taking advantage of a woman who claims his PP was Tootsie Roll sized. That was true when we were talking about, when 50 Cent was joking about that earlier. 50 Cent said, this is why he be in the corner touching himself. She said it in the case paperwork that she was relieved when she saw it was only Tootsie Roll size. It wouldn't hurt. Soulja Boy goes off on DDG. We talked about this yesterday. For putting hands on Halle Bailey while he's disrespecting her. He says, I'm going to put my D inside of a mermaid. I'm going to have her for myself. Soulja Boy's looking for anything to get posted in the blogs. That's all that is. Offset is really putting up pictures, and he's hurt over the Cardi B thing. But Cardi B's dating someone worse than Offset now. Super Cheater and Super Dog and Stefan Diggs, and Offset is trying to prove that he's getting girls too, but it's like, dude, just chill out, man. Calm down. You're going out sad, bro. Going out real sad. Chris Brown screams free Tory Lanez. A lot of support there. Big U's case is now moved till May of 2026 because they couldn't prepare in time. This is not with all the evidence they have. Drake, we already talked about that. Now Dame Dash is forced to sell more assets to cover another debt that's going on. He has, I think it's $78,000 or something like that. How much money is it? Let me see. Yep, a additional $78,000 debt. So I don't know if he has any assets for that. He has a lot of debts, man. What's this one for? $100,000 interest for, let's see, strikes. Horn is giving up her stake in American News Streaming Network, CEO by Dash website. And this is his girl. And the children's book Dusko Goes to Space. Dash will be handing over documents and company records too. This is all done from that movie. This movie was the worst thing Dame Dash could ever did. These guys are really taking Dame Dash to the cleaners, bro. See, it's that ego, man. That's what got Tory, too. That ego. Well, Snoop Dogg, I like Snoop Dogg, don't get me wrong, but he's a sellout, bro. Like, he's doing the Sexy Red thing now. He does a lot of little sellout moves. He has a song dropping with Sexy Red this week. It's trash, bro. It's horrible. Snoop Dogg hasn't made a good song in a long time. 10 plus years. But he was recently on The Breakfast Club, and he admitted that he got checked by Kendrick, and he says that happens sometimes. I reposted something I should have reposted. He checked me, and that was that. We're still cool. I respect him. He respects me. That was that. And, yeah. I appreciate you all. This is Jordan Tower with JT News. I'll check you guys in the next one. Peace.